Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for October 10th. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and I'm here today to update you on everything that happened yesterday on the Big Brother 25 live feeds. It was day 69 in the house, and a backdoor occurred, and information was released, and plans were made for the future, and we're here to talk about it all. And with me to talk about it all is Chantele. How you doing, Chantele?
I'm doing pretty well. I was really nervous with Bowie Jane being the head of household and then her original plans and intentions. But I'm very happy with the way that things are going. And I wasn't as stressed out as I thought I was going to be reviewing all the events that happened yesterday. So I'm in good spirits.
All right. Well, let's talk through the day. Of course, Bowie is the HOH. She nominated Cirie and Felicia. Jag won the veto, and the plan is in place to backdoor Cam. He was basically led to believe that this might happen last night, and he has been leaking information ever since, but it is not exactly going anywhere at this time. So we start the day with Corey in America. We don't really start the day, but throughout the day, they are going to be telling people that they're official, boyfriend and girlfriend.
Are you happy about this? Cerie's really happy about this.
Well, if she's telling them she's really happy about this, at least.
Fair, good play, good play. I mean, it is what it is. Do you think that they're going to last outside of the game?
I mean, sure,
Okay,
but you don't get to not be a showmance. You're on the show.
it's a
That's it.
showman. Showmans can be official showmans, but you're still a showmans. Absolutely.
Yes, the plan is for Corey's got to take a gap year anyway, so he's still in school. But hey, he's gonna take the gap year, I guess, somewhere. I didn't really pay a lot of attention, but
His
they're gonna.
mustache seems to be growing in a little bit more, though. Doesn't it look a little thicker now that he's in a relationship?
Is that how it works?
Yeah, he's more manly now.
They're gonna give it a shot, folks. That's the point. And they're telling everybody in the house about it. I don't know why, but they are.
Yeah, especially since we even saw, I believe it was on the episode, America talking to Bowie about you gotta break up these showmances or these duos. And it's like you're in a major duo that you just solidified your duo, and now you're like, oh, we gotta get rid of other duos. It's very interesting
Hmm.
choice.
Corey does tell Cirie about it. She's like, "Oh, that's so exciting," but convincing. And which is funny because just before that conversation, she was like, "I can't wait to get that guy out." Corey talks to Cirie a bit more about how, like, hey, she's like, one of us has to win, you know? Corey says he wouldn't put her up if he did, and he'd be, like, once one of us do win, like, we can talk much more openly. And I think this is true. Again, Corey wants to work with Cirie. He does trust Cirie to a degree. He really shouldn't at this moment, but he does, and he would like to talk to her if he won an HOH.
What I think is interesting about their Cerie's conversation, particularly with Corey, is she's just like, yep, uh-huh, uh-huh, like she actually really gives him nothing. And he just talks and talks and talks and just yep, uh-huh. And I think it's part of obviously her strategy to not divulge any information, but the fact that it still provides him somebody that he's kind of talking to in the game and strategizing with, even though she really doesn't give him that much. So I
I
thought it
mean,
was
like, when he's telling her about the relationship, she's like, "Oh my god, that's so great! Like, so you're gonna go stay with her over here?" Like she knows all the details. She's engaging in especially the relationship conversations, which again, Corey has pointed out is like the specific reason why he feels like he can't actually trust her. Even though he knows this is Cirie Fields and she's very capable of faking it. But hey, you know. Um, uh, Cam is gonna talk to Matt. He's not, not feeling great. He's like, "Matt, why? What's going on? When did this happen? Why are you guys coming?" Matt says, "It happened last night. Just last night." He's like, "Really? Just last night?" He's like, "Yeah, it's, we talked about it last night. That's when the plan came into place." Cam says, "All right, well, listen, I appreciate you at least telling me the truth, unlike Jag and Bowie, who both lied to my face when I asked them about it. It just feels so personal." Matt says, "It's not personal. They talk a little more. They still love each other. They hug. You know, Matt's doing good jury work."
Matt does really good jury work in general. Like nobody is mad at him. I've been seeing that like, throughout the entire day. That like even Serene is just like, but Matt's good, but Matt's good, and so he's definitely doing a good job. And if he sits in the final two chairs, I do see Matt being able to take home a W here.
It
Um,
does seem likely. I think the one risk that Matt is taking here is that, everyone feels so good about him over Jag, but if they are somehow sitting in the final 2 together, the fact that he's pushed Jag to the forefront of the strategic
fair.
conversations might lead to the perception that, that Jag is the strategic one and Matt is not, which is
Hmm.
helping Matt right now, but theoretically hurt him in the future. But his relationships with everyone are so much better than Jag's that it'll probably still be fine for Matt.
I don't know if this is, this is probably against the popular opinion, but throughout this day, I was also kind of feeling bad for Cameron, and I think it's because the fact that like he's not strategic and he thinks that all like the alliances that he made were going to stick, and that he was doing things for Matt and Jag, and then like they really just couldn't care less, and like he's just kind of moping around in his glasses and being by himself. I did feel slightly bad for him. I don't mean I want him to stay, but I had a little bit of a heartfelt moment for Cameron yesterday.
Yeah, well, uh,
Don't kill
that's
me.
well, that is his fate here as the veto ceremony happens and Cameron is put on the block. And there it is. Cameron now up on the block against Suri. Felicia is pulled down by Jag, and Cameron is the replacement. Bowie apparently, and this was talked about beforehand and planned. She didn't even give a reason. She just said Cam. And his response was, "Bowie, Bowie, Bowie, showing your true colors." So we have that to look forward to, I guess, in an episode.
Well, and it seems like the veto ceremony had other eventful moments. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Felicia give him a lap dance to Jag? I can't wait for that. That looks like sounds like fun.
We'll see. We'll see. So Matt talks to Bowie after the ceremony. Everything is fine. They feel good. And they agree that the person they're targeting next is Corey. Corey is the person they're taking out next. That's the plan. That's the ideal scenario. They don't want to let him get any further to get to those fabled mental competitions at the end of the game. But if he does win the HOH, they need to make sure that he targets Blue still, so they need to keep him feeling good. But that is the plan moving forward.
And I mean, I think it's a decent plan. It's interesting that Corey has seemingly no idea. Well, until they start informing him about like Blue's coming for him, and pitting those two against each other. I guess it's a good plan, but I feel like they think it's too easy for them, and I feel like it might have holes and it might fall apart. But for now, I think it's kind of a good option for them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see it here, but through the day, but they've kind of still got both Blue and Corey, despite what Cam is saying, because of course this is Cam we're talking about. Still trusting them and wanting to work with them. So, you know.
We'll see.
Cam does talk to Corey. He gives him the whole pitch, the whole thing he gave to America yesterday, where he tells him about how they're pitting him against Blue and how the whole conversation about the Mimi vote went and how he's been working with them and they played him and so on and so forth. Um, he says they're going to run the game. They have Bowie and they have Blue. And unfortunately, Cam says, I don't really see a path for me to stay this week. And Corey's like, yeah, I agree. You're not convincing me.
no jury management here. Like Corey's just pretty flat out. Be like, you could try. They're not giving you a little bit of an in. Neither am I. Sorry, bud. Like you're done.
I mean, no false hope at the very least. Here,
Zero.
yeah. Um,
Savage.
Yeah. So Corey gets the download, and even Cam thinks this is a losing battle. Cam's not pitching to stay all day. He's just pitching to try and ruin Matt and Jag's game. That is his goal for the day, for the week. And he's accepted his fate as far as like the vote goes.
I mean, I don't mind someone leaving bitter. Like that's definitely entertaining. Like blow up the house. Like if that he's always wanted to be dropping all these bombs, so he might as well drop a bomb while he's going out the door.
Mm. So Corey talks to America after his conversation with Cam, and he says, Cam is trying to say that Jag and Matt are working with Bowie and Blue, but that group doesn't make any sense. Those four working together? Pfft, yeah, right. She's like, oh, it doesn't? Why doesn't it make sense? He's like, because Bowie's with us. She's not going to be with them in Blue. Bowie's with us. Bowie trusts us.
It's interesting that he doesn't see that, like, in order for this move to be made, like Bowie had to have support, and that's not because, like, that's not him. And so I find it interesting that he doesn't see it all. We trust that Corey's pretty strategic, and people are worried about him in mental comms and down the road, and that he knows the game quite well. But like he doesn't see some strategic things that are seemingly very obvious, especially if other people are pointing out, like, hey, isn't that possibly a thing? And he's like, no, 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 no. He just shuts it down. So I'm wondering why he has blinders over some parts of the strategic elements of the game.
He just completely misunderstands who Bowie is as a player. And he thinks that because he's been loosely taught, it's honestly, it's funny because it's the same mistake Cam made, thinking, oh, Bowie, she's a bit spacey. I can just talk to her. Nobody else wants to talk to her. I'll talk to her and say, hey, I've got you. And then she'll be mine. And she'll just always be mine. No. Matt and Jag are the only people in this game who have treated Bowie like an equal and talked game with her, strategized with her, made her really feel like she's on the team. Now, are they using her to take out Cam this week? Absolutely. But they do actually consider her to be part of the team, and they treat her like that. And that's why she's with them and not with Corey and not with Cam, who talk to her occasionally and usually just do the strategizing away from her and then tell her what they think. It's a huge difference, and it's a huge reason why Bowie is currently more working with Matt and Jag, and why this is a huge blind spot for Corey. And the reason why he thinks he can still trust Matt and Jag is because he thinks he still has Bowie.
And do you think also the fact that they haven't named their trio might be because, like, in this game for Bowie, anyways, all these named alliances she's been in have not been real. They've been fake, and nobody cared about them. And she thought she was a part of something, and she's not. So now they haven't named it because it's more important, the three of them coming together. And so maybe that's also why she kind of feels a little more akin to them.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that Corey has been, ever since the Crossroads, ever since all of the things blew up, he's been very reluctant to name any alliances or to solidify any real solid groups because he's like, man, that really messed up for all of them, right? We're not going to make that same mistake. Meanwhile, Matt and Jag were just like, no, that seems to work pretty well, actually. Why don't we just do it? And guess what? It does work pretty well for Matt and Jag. It works pretty well because that's how the game functions. You can't just loosely work with people with no alliance names when that is what people expect. And if other people beat you to that punch and they do the alliance names, then they're the ones that are going to benefit from that. And the thing is, people think that that's what Corey's doing anyway. He's getting all the heat for having multiple alliances with none of the benefit.
Poor Corey. I mean, I think he's gonna figure things out soon. Like last week, I think it was. I wanted him to be put on the block because I needed him to like kind of wake up a little bit. I don't think he's woken up yet, and so I guess we're going to see what happens in the next week because I want him to. I just need him to be shaken up and see his position in the game and realize that like what he thinks is going on actually isn't real.
Well, Bowie talks to Cirie and Felicia about working together with Matt and Jag, some kind of Final Five-ish situation. But it probably not too important. Probably won't go too far. Mostly because Cam is going to talk to Cirie and tell her, hey, Matt and Jag, they are the ones that took out Jared. They used Corey to do it. They've been blaming Corey for everything. They know Blue is close to you, which is why you're sitting next to me, so that she can't vote to keep me. Which this is just classic Cam assuming things and then stating them as if they were fact because he doesn't know that Cirie volunteered for this position. But he does have some information to give. He says he can't believe Bowie. He took care of her for weeks. She cried to him and he took care of her. He protected her. And now she's targeting him. And what for? She still can't beat Matt or Jag in the end. So what is even her plan? Like, okay, Cam, like what was her plan with you? Like what do you mean? You were planning to go to the end with Matt and Jag, apparently, with Bowie. Was that a more winning position for her somehow? Clearly not. Why is it that Bowie is not able to beat Jag, a person that was voted out of the game? I'm telling you right now, Bowie has absolutely played a better game than Jag so far in this season. Bowie should absolutely have a chance to beat Jag in the end. But, you know, misogyny.
I mean, I do understand a little bit though why, like, Cameron kind of feels as soon as he latches onto someone and what he decides is the way that it is. Like, if he says like this is how it is, yes, this is true. But like, and so I can understand from his perspective being, thinking that he's taking care of this innocent young woman, Bowie Jane, and he's taking care of her and he's allowing her to be, his final two. That like she's going to be reciprocating that with like undying loyalty. And so I can see how his misconceptions and perceptions of like how he's interacting with people in this game has caused him to have this false
yeah, I can see how in his own warped brain he's like, I took care of Bowie. She should be repaying the favor that she never asked for.
Exactly.
Like, when did he ever consult with Bowie? When did he ever care
about
what a single thought in her head was?
Absolutely.
When did he ever ask her opinion on what he should do? Who was he talking to about the move he wanted to make last week? He was talking to Jag and Matt about it. He told Bowie he wanted to backdoor Corey. But it wasn't until Jag said, no, I don't want to do it, that he was like, okay, well, I guess we're not doing it. She was never a partner for him. She was just somebody he wanted to drag to the end. And for him to be like, oh, how dare she after I took care of her is just so ridiculous.
It's so on brand for Cam.
Anyway, he says, I'm going to try and help you, Cirie. I want to help you line things up with Blue, Corey, and America because those have got to go if you want any shot of winning the game. And those of course, meaning Jag and Matt.
Not wrong.
Cirie says the problem is Blue is really fixated on Corey. Like, she's so focused on Corey, she's not going to go after them. And they're like, well, we need to stop her from doing that. Cam says, I'll talk to her. I'll try to convince her about the Matt and Jag situation. He goes on to tell her about how Jag wanted Corey to stay last week because Corey and Blue are going after each other. That's the style of game Jag wants to play. Pit people against each other so that he gets to sit back and watch them do the dirty work. He says, I talked to Matt this morning and he was reading the Bible the Bible was there at the time. And he said, so his hands were on the Bible. And he said he didn't know anything about the back door until last night. So I think Jag might have kept him in the dark about that. That's how Jag operates. So there is still some separation between Matt and Jag when it comes to fault here.
Absolutely. And we see it a little bit more even later on in the day. Like, I even believe that, like, believe this a little bit. I'm just gonna like, yeah, Matt's not a bad guy. Like, Matt's not a snake. He can't be. He's so kind for the most part. And so, like, I'm having a little bit of a Matt mist going on here, and it's not just because his hand was happened to be on the Bible when you're having this conversation, but I guess because Matt is pushing Jag to the forefront a little bit more, and Jag is always talking to strategies and always is trying to make the alliances, always trying to make the onion thing happen. And so, yes, it's easier for Matt to fall into this position, and I kind of buy it sometimes too. I'm guilty.
Yeah, despite the Matt is like definitely the primary pusher against Cam and has been for a while. Felicia, Suri talks to Felicia after her conversation with Cam, and she says, "Felicia, we're being lied to by Jag and Matt. They're playing the whole house. They need to go. We need to hope that they fight it out with Corey in America. That like somebody takes a shot. We need to get Blue Corey in America to take that shot at Jag because he's the problem." Jag's been doing all of this stuff. And we can't let them take out Corey because if Corey leaves next week, who's left to target? If they have Blue, they're not going to target America. Like, that's bad for us. We need numbers to take them out. We need to do something. But they don't want Matt to go either necessarily. They want it to be Jag. Ideally, it's like Jag leaves and then things can be reconfigured. They wanted to work with Bowie, but they're concerned that Bowie is too tight with Matt and Jag. So they need to take Jag out of the game. Then they can deal with Corey.
Well, and I also do think that if they do take Jag out of the game, not by their own hand, and they don't make Matt mad about this, there's a very big possibility that Matt can come over, bless you, to the Suri side of things, and he has been has a soft spot for Saria. They kind of have this, he's a Fields. We know this. And so I do think without Jag there, that there's a big possibility that Matt might be someone that can go after Corey and kind of protect them a little bit. So I like this for them, to be fair.
Yeah, and so and honestly, this doesn't change like a lot in terms of how they were already seeing the game. It mostly just changes how much they trust their position and they trust where Matt and Jag actually stand. And it gives them a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a kick to be like, all right, we really need to make sure we do this. We need to win. We need to make sure that they don't win. We need Jag to go. So Jag becoming a big target for them, and they need to convince the rest of the house, Blue, Corey, and America, to do the same. The problem? Corey and America talk, and they're saying, you know what? We feel better about Matt and Jag today. Corey says, yeah, talking to them, it just feels good. It feels easy. The conversations that they've had with Matt and Jag today about their relationship. They literally view the entire game through the lens of who likes their relationship and who can they be excited about with their relationship. It's absurd.
It is absurd. It is absurd because, like, I guess like they don't like their whole game is based on their relationship. So they like Corey was playing so much better before this whole AmeriCorey thing kind of came about. And so now, though, that he's in it and it's official, like he can't really see outside of it because they're kind of acting as a unit now. And so if people are supporting the unit, it's like that means that they're supporting them in the game, essentially. And so I think that's why they're kind of skewed and misjudging their gameplay effectively and appropriately.
It's very transparent when Corey's talking to Jag about the officialness of his relationship. He talks about how the house is so much better now without Jared and Izzy. Not that he didn't like Jared and Izzy. He actually did like both of them a lot. He got along with them really well. But like for some reason, the house just felt so stifling. Why? Because they didn't like America and they didn't like his relationship with America. But he gets to talk about his relationship with America to people now, and everyone claps and cheers because all he's thinking about right now is his plans for after the season ends and not what he's currently doing in the game right now.
Poor Corey. I mean, if he doesn't end up winning this season, which I don't know if he's going to. I don't think he's going to, but he's gonna probably look back and be like, "Oh my god, like how did I just get like completely relationship ties?" I don't know, like I was gonna say stigmatized, but it doesn't really work that way. But like he just like he forgot about the game. He's on a game for a lot of money, and America kind of he's snowed him in the sense that like he's not playing the game anymore.
Corey says to America, my thing is that, again, as long as Bowie is still with us, Matt and Jag can't make the move on us because they'd piss off Bowie. They'd have to make the move on Blue first. And this is the big thing for Corey's game. Will Matt and Jag target Blue first or Corey first? And right now, it has shifted back over to Corey. Corey thinks he's protected from that decision, from that flip flop, by Bowie, but he's not protected by Bowie. In fact, Bowie is currently pushing for Corey to go first. Again, Bowie putting the snow over their heads, I guess. Corey tells America, if I win HOH next week, it's got to be Felicia and Blue on the block. We take out Blue, we move forward.
I mean, Blue hasn't really proven to be a huge competitor, and so it's just very. eh, Yes, she's been strong in the sense that she's come second a few times, and yes, she's been aligned with like Jared. So maybe adjacently, she seems to have been having a little bit of power in the game, but like she hasn't really done that much to be leaving next. I guess she is a number potentially for the Cerise side of things, but I don't know. I do think that Corey is a stronger target. I don't think Matt and Jag are stronger targets to be. To those people are the ones that are going to be winning things likely in the end game, and so any of them would be someone I'd want to be taking out. Blue,
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
and listen, Corey's kind of screwed either way because if he does take out, say, Jag, then the rest of the house is coming for him next. They're not
True.
going to bother to take out Matt next. So that's terrible. But if he takes out Blue, then Matt, Jag, and Bowie are all coming after him. Hey, maybe Suri and Felicia would be willing to target Jag at that point still. And so he'd have a couple of extra people fighting in the HOH. But he's now competing against Matt and Jag like week after week for those HOH spots. I don't know. It's either way, it's not looking great for Corey at the moment. Especially because Blue has not been convinced yet to not go after him. That could be the true game changer if they could actually get Blue on board. But even then, again, once Jag leaves, Blue has no more incentive to work with him, even if she did agree to initially. So it is a tough spot. He talks to the cameras. He says he feels good about his position. Pretty good, not terrible.
He's
He
still
says
there.
that his conversations with Matt and Jag made him feel better today. He says he should not, he says if Blue wins HOH, I'm cooked or at least in trouble. He says, I do think I have win equity. I think I'm okay in a Matt or Jag HOH. And he says, yeah, I'm pretty excited about this America stuff, though. Pretty fun.
I mean, I feel like this might be his first like adult, we'll say, relationship in his 20s, we'll say, relationship as his a new man of 22. But yeah, it's interesting to watch if I'm just looking at it as a TV show and like seeing like, oh my god, young love, and like isn't that cute? But as someone that wants to see someone that has so much potential to do really well in this game, it kind of sucks that he's not thinking about it anymore.
Yeah, he says that he hasn't talked to the cameras much lately because A, he's always hanging out with America, and B, he says he feels like there's not a lot to update, that there's just not a lot of game happening anymore. And
It's like things are happening outside of your little smoochy smoochy bed talk, like people are having conversations all day long, Corey, all day long.
yeah,
And so, yeah, you'd have your finger is not on the pulse here.
if you this is what I was because he said the same thing at the start of the game until he was finally let in on some things, and it's just like, no, this is one of the golden rules of Big Brother is if you think there's not game happening, it just means that you're not being included in the game that's happening. And that is the difference. He used to be included in that stuff. He is no longer included in that stuff as much. But he also says something else that I think is illuminating, which is that he feels pretty gassed out. It's been a long season and there's still more to go. And I think he's feeling the fatigue of it. I think in part because the passion for it is not there as much because he's got some other passions right now.
I know it's distracting him big time, because like right now, like he could potentially be in a decent situation if like all the information that he thinks is perceiving is true, and he doesn't have Matt and Jag fighting for him or protecting him as much as he thinks. But like if he was interacting with them a little bit more and was involved in what was going on a little bit more in all the decision making, maybe he would be as protected by them as he thinks that he is. And so, the fact that he doesn't realize that like America taking him away from the conversations and being involved in the group is actually taking away his position as well. I guess it's just his age, his youth, his inexperience.
So Suri talks to Blue. She says, Blue, listen to what Cam has to say, because he's got some things to say. And Blue's like, what has he got to say? She's like, well, he's saying that Matt and Jag, they're riding this thing to the end, and that they're going to pit you up against Corey, and that that they're playing us all. That's what's happening. Blue's like, well, I mean, my ideal final five is like you, me, Matt, Jag, and Bowie. But I guess maybe like Felicia and America are probably smarter to have. Suri's like, yes, please.
Like, why don't they want to get these really strong players out of the game? Like at this point, there's no protection anymore. Like if you want a shot of winning any competitions, you need to get these comp threats out of the game. Like it's just mind blowing to me. They've won everything. You've won nothing, and you still want to keep them in your end game. It's like,
yeah. Suri's like, look, we can't play personally, okay? Well, we need to play smart. And I get it. I know you hate Corey. I hate Corey too. But once Corey's gone, they are going to run the table. We cannot let them do that. And so she primes Blue for this conversation with Cam, and then Cam talks to her, and he says, Blue, Jared told me one thing before he left. Oh, really? What did he tell you about me? It was to protect Suri. Oh. And I knew that by that he also meant you. I knew that.
Why couldn't he just lie? What the heck?
He says the only way forward for you is to leave those motherfuckers behind, Matt and Jag. And he says, I was working with them and now I've realized it was a setup all along. The same thing is happening to you. They are the brigade and you are their Brittany. Your only shot at winning this game is working with Suri, Felicia, Corey, and America. He says that they are the ones that got Jared out. They just used Corey to do it. And Blue says, okay, well, here's the thing. I did promise Jared I'd protect Suri, but she kind of feels like a sinking ship at this point. Because Suri is the sinking ship right now. And so he gives her the whole download, everything about all of the ways that Jag and Matt have been playing her, and that all of these conversations that were staged, and how they're using her as a shield with Corey, and that they're just going to sit back and let them go to war. And she's like, okay, thank you for telling me, Cam.
Now, why does she think that Suri is a sinking ship? Is it just because she's on the block right now? And Bowie kind of wanted Suri to be the person that is going out? Because like, if she knew that Suri is the one that was kind of like in on the plan, and is like, actually like, you know what, I know I'm going to be taken off, like, but I want to, to save Miss Felicia from packing, et cetera, et cetera. I just wonder why does Blue feel like she's a sinking ship? It doesn't seem obvious.
I assume because she's not winning comps and she's on the block.
Oh, okay. It's okay. Okay. Cool.
That
was a better reason.
You expected a better reason from Blue?
I mean, I no, but yes. Like, come on, like a little bit. something.
People are in the chat are like, she's downplaying the relationship, but like, no, she's
I don't
not.
think so.
Because
I
why
wish
would
she
she
was.
start the sentence with, I promised Jared, my showmance, I would protect Suri, if she was trying to downplay the relationship? That's an absurd way to start a sentence where you're trying to downplay that relationship. Don't mention that part of it at all, because there's no reason to.
And I mean, I understand though, like Suri not winning things, but like you should also get out the people that are winning things so that you have a better chance of winning things. So, are you your own sinking ship?
Yeah. Suri talks to Felicia. They talk about, like, do we battle Jag or do we battle Corey and America? Like, hopefully Corey and America aren't afraid to put up Matt and Jag. And basically the plan would be, if they do win, hopefully that if we offer our support and they feel like they have the support, they might be willing to take the shot, which might be true. But they will need to probably lay some groundwork in order for that to happen, given the current state of Corey and America and the current state of Blue, which we will talk about right now, because Blue, after her conversation with Cameron, immediately told Matt, Jag, and Corey, and basically everyone else that would listen, that that Cam is pitching all this stuff about how Matt and Jag are masterminds, and she doesn't believe a word of it.
It's funny though when you're just like repeating what Cameron had said. I was like, this is good stuff though. Like, like if I were to hear this, and Cam is leaving, that he's going out the door, and then he's not really trying to pitch to stay. He's just kind of giving information. I'm listening to that. I'm like, this could be some good intel. Let me take that in and use it to my advantage in some way. How I don't understand how she could take what he has said to the people that he's talking about. This is like her power in this game. This is her like having a little bit extra information and just like, here you go, guys. I'm just gonna lay that all out for you, and so that you have all the information, and I have absolutely no agency anymore. She's a ding dong. Why? It's so frustrating.
She tells Matt and Jag late into the night, he was like, you're the Brittany in the brigade with Matt, Jag. And they were like, well, who's the brigade then? Who's in the alliance? She's like, you two and Bowie. That you two and Bowie are the brigade and I'm the Brittany. And they're like, that doesn't even make any sense, because we are the ones that came up with the idea to approach Bowie in the first place. We came up with that idea together, Blue. And she's like, yeah, exactly. And she lets them know that she's like, also, I've seen Cam talk to Suri a lot today. So we need to make sure she's not buying into what Cam is saying. And Jag's like, okay, I'll talk to Suri tomorrow, because obviously he must have told her this stuff too, but she hasn't mentioned it to us yet. And so she's already getting Suri in trouble a bit after Suri tried to get her to listen to Cam. They agree Corey needs to be the next target. He's the person that needs to go next. And Blue does suggest the final five of themselves, of her, Jag, Matt, Bowie, and Suri. She thinks that is the good final five to work toward. And Jag agrees, and of course Matt agrees, because any final five that includes his four, which is Suri, Bowie, and Jag, he's down for.
And again, it's just so wild that people want to be with the comp beast. And like maybe like it's kind of like us being with like a celebrity, or like being enamored by someone's physical capabilities, because like it makes absolutely no sense to be going all in on people that can beat you in every single competition, and that have done they've already proven that they have. It's not like it's going to be a surprise if they were to win anything, and it doesn't make any sense. And I guess we know that Blue doesn't make that much sense strategically, but I'm just frustrated because like even Suri, she's like, I don't want to tell Blue that much because she's kind of still in with them, and like I don't know if I trust saying too much to Blue, and so like she kind of got Cameron to do it so that she didn't have to do it, because she didn't want to be attached to whatever Blue might spill. And like she was right in assessing that, because Blue is already screwing up Suri's game with her like taking this very good information to the very wrong people.
Mm-hmm. And even at one point, she was even like, Matt, Jag, if he is telling the truth and you guys are playing me, I'm gonna be mad at you guys. So it's like, it's not like she's like pretending that she doesn't believe it. Like she's talking to them. Like, this was a long conversation. Like, she's in. The real question is, can Suri turn this back around if Suri talks to Blue again? Or will that sink Suri because Blue then rats Suri out? Because Blue did not rat Suri out entirely. She just half ratted Suri out. So where this goes from here is the real question.
Well, I'm just glad though that all of the ratting, there's no way that Cameron is going to stay, because I'm just like, this happening while it's on the block is really, really stressful. It's yeah. So
It's Suri's not leaving. I mean,
I
Cam
I
is.
know, but like it's just like I don't like it. I just don't like it happening. Just like it just makes me nervous.
I mean, even if you do think Suri is against you, it's like, okay, who would I rather have working against
100%.
me, Suri or Cameron?
Absolutely.
And honestly, I'd probably say Cameron, but they will not. Uh, uh, so I do want to quickly correct. Yesterday, I talked about a conversation between Cameron and America where he called her stupid. That was actually a misinterpretation of what he was saying. He was explicitly saying that he was not calling her stupid. It just sounded like he was calling her stupid, and she did not. She was like, even though you're not saying you're calling me stupid, it feels like you're calling me stupid. He was like, I'm not calling you stupid. So he did not say the word, I think you're stupid. He just implied it with all of his other words and actions and mannerisms. So I just want to make sure that that is clear from yesterday. And that's pretty much the day today. It's looking like moving forward, we have this situation with Blue, where can she be convinced to work with Suri and drop the feud with Corey? Can Suri essentially build this bridge between between Blue and Corey? And will that even matter at all? Because even if that does happen,
Who's winning power?
Matt and Jag have a great chance of winning the HOH next
Yeah.
week. So that's the big question for the rest of the week at this point. Chantele, anything else that you want to bring up?
It's a small little thing. I thought it was interesting because America is it's probably the biggest super fan in the house, and how she is bringing up Project DNA season 5 and the Nokomis's 5-finger plan, and like I love that they're having this conversation about this season, but like never even considered that Suri might have had a relationship in the game. So I just thought it was funny that they brought that up, and like it still didn't even no twinkling of like it being a possibility.
Yeah, they were like, man, the 5-finger plan was when they figured out the back door, and Jag was like, what, before that they just like, I'm putting you up and I want to target you? He's like, yeah, they hadn't thought of it before. Like, no, that's not why. What do you mean? How do you know the name of it, but you don't know the concept?
But yeah, I definitely liked just seeing that, like some half understanding of what was going on back then. Yeah, it was just a nice little throwback.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what we have for you today then. Of course, there will be an episode tonight, which will be the veto episode. So the ceremony that we're talking about right now is going to play out tonight on the episode. Theoretically, I guess it could be another cliffhanger. Maybe they're just going to do cliffhangers for these Tuesday episodes because they don't have time to edit it all in, but who knows? Either way, we'll tune in tonight. I'll be live on twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong, watching tonight's episode live with all of you. I'm also gonna be live later today, I think at around 5 p.m. Eastern, to watch last night's The Traders Canada episode, to watch our bud Kevin Martin on there with Kuzi and Erica from Survivor. And Jacob Jones will be joining me over on Twitch as
That's fun.
we watch our pal. Hopefully not be eliminated from episode 2. So tune in for that as well. Find me over on Instagram doing climbing stuff and posting things on Twitter and all of that good stuff happening there. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern to update and everything that happens today on the Big Brother 25 live feeds. Chantele, where can people find you?
on Instagram. All my socials are there at ShanFranFran, and YouTube channel Reality Realness with 3 S's. Still talking about the Challenge USA 2. Final 2 episodes are coming. And then I'm gonna catch up on Traders. I haven't watched Traders Canada yet, because I'm like, oh, I want to cover it, and so I haven't watched it yet. But like, I think I'm just gonna end up just catching up and not covering it. But check me out.
All
See what I'm
right.
doing.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us here today, and I will see all of you next time.